Blessings. Welcome to my channel. My name is Taj Utsi and I am a certified financial coach. I am also the founder of True Financial Coaching, where our mission here is to educate you, enlighten you, and equip you with the financial literacy that is necessary in order to get off of the rat wheel. What is the rat wheel? The rat wheel is when one is constantly financing things that go down in value for them, but up in value for the banks. Now, the wheel is only powered so long as the rat is constantly moving. So when one is constantly financing these depreciating objects, then they continue to keep that cycle going. And that's why it's called revolving debt, because it's just going round and round and round, but you're not making any progress. So what we want to do today is just do a series of videos of things that people say about finances that don't make any sense. And I say this because, as I often say, many people, they say things or they do things pertaining to their finances that they don't even realize they're doing, and it's causing them to stay in that same predicament that they are in financially. And I can say that from experience because there's a lot of things that I did, a lot of things that I said that, knowing what I know now, it's like, wow, I can't believe I said or did those things. So the more you know, the better you can do it once you begin to apply the new information that you're receiving. So again, I just had made a list of some things. I'm not gonna go over all of them today. Got to break them up into different episodes, but there's just some things that people say about the finances that don't make sense. The first thing that a lot of people say about their finances, and I was guilty of this also, is that I'm going to use my credit card for emergencies. People say that. I was one of those individuals that said that, when I was unenlightened and still hooked up to the matrix. It would say when you use credit card for emergencies. The question that you should ask yourself is, why don't I have my own cash for emergencies? As long as individuals have been working, whether it's since they were 18 or 22 or however long, 15, 16, why is it that we don't have our own cash in case of an emergency, to the point where we have to take out debt, go into deeper debt if something unexpected happens? I was reading an article from Forbes.com, and they did a survey about how many Americans, I forget the number, but it said about 50% of Americans cannot cover $1,000 emergency. That's 50%, 1 in 2. So again, if you take 10 people 5 of those 10 people won't even be able to have enough to cover $1,000 emergency. And as a result, what do? Use the credit card, and not realizing that when you use these credit cards for emergencies, right, you're financing that object. You're financing not just the cost of that object for that emergency that you had to take care of, but you're also financing the taxes. So you're paying interest on the item and the taxes, putting you deeper into debt. So I am not against credit card use, but I am against credit card debt. Credit card is a tool, just like any other tool, just like a hammer, just like a pencil, just like a lawnmower. You use it when you need it, and you have to be taught how to use those tools. And that's the missing piece. People aren't taught how to use credit cards, and as a result, they think it's free money. Go swipe, 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 and they're not feeling that pain because they're not pulling out cash at that moment. And as a result, you look up, and then you done spent more than you even anticipated on spending, because it was so easy to do, because it's not your money, it's the bank's money. They lent it to you, you pay them back over time. Again, I'm not against credit card use, I am against credit card debt. So if you're going to use a credit card, you want to try to pay off the whatever it is you spent before the end of the month. That way you don't accrue any interest. But again, using a credit card in case of emergencies is something that just doesn't make financial sense. Because when you use a credit card, again, you're killing the opportunity for your money to grow in other areas of investments because of interest. So, using a credit card in case of emergencies, you got to ask yourself, why don't I have my own money in case of emergencies? Why can't I go and, if my refrigerator breaks down and it's going to cost me $1,000, why can't I go to my savings account where I've been working for 20 years, 30 years, and I can't pull out $1,000 to replace a refrigerator? And this is the importance of having an emergency fund, because when things happen unexpected, all it is an inconvenience. It's just an inconvenience. I was talking to one of clients that I coach, and the individual, they had the $1,000 emergency fund already saved, and something happened, and it was just an inconvenience. They was able to go take some money out the emergency fund, and this was a true emergency that took place. Individual was able to go take the money out the emergency fund, take care of what they had to take care of, still had some money left in the emergency fund. So now, it was just an inconvenience. It's not life-changing because I didn't have the umbrella of an emergency fund. So, emergency fund is very important. You're just starting off in your journey. Some say, $1,000 emergency fund. Some say, just cover the 1 month of your expenses. So you have to do what's best for you when getting that initial emergency fund. But something that is definitely of importance, because again, I'm not against credit card use. I am against credit card debt, because you might use a credit card to rent a car just for convenience. Hotel stay convenience, but I know if I'm renting this vehicle or using this hotel, I got the cash, boom, pay it right back, pay it off that same day, or that next day or whatever. That way I don't have to worry about it. So again, credit cards, they're not the enemy, but it's one's lack of knowledge of how to use the credit cards is what makes them deadly if you're not knowing what you're doing. While we're on the topic of credit cards, something I was kind of thinking about also is, and this might be another video, when you got secured credit cards and unsecured credit cards, right? Unsecured credit cards, when banks just give you money, based upon your credit history, whatever, your credit score, whatever, they give you, balance, whatever, $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, whatever, they give you that money, boom, and interest or whatever. That's secured. I beg your pardon, that's unsecured. But a secured credit card is when one doesn't have good credit, can get an unsecured credit card. So banks may offer them a secured credit card. And what that is let's say you have $500 right in your bank account, in your pocket, right? And with a secured credit card, what you're telling the bank is, look, I'm going to give you this $500 in exchange for you to give me a piece of plastic. And I'm going to allow you to charge me interest on the money that I already have in my hand that I'm giving you. That doesn't make sense. that doesn't make sense. So if people, and I understand the purpose of secured credit cards, I really do, but it doesn't make sense for me to have $500 in my bank account, and I'm giving that $500 to the bank in exchange for a piece of plastic to show that I am responsible to pay back money to the bank that I lent them. And that doesn't make sense. I have the money in my hands. I'm giving it to the bank. The bank is charging me interest on my own money because of I want a secured credit card in order to improve my credit score to get an unsecured credit card. That doesn't make sense. Somebody say, well, how can I get an unsecured credit card if my credit is jacked up? Pay off your debt. When you pay off your debt, your credit score will rise. And credit score, again, is in another video, just a program. That's just a program. It's just a program that the banks put out there so people can worship, the credit gods, the holy trinity of credit scores. Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, the holy trinity of the credit score, the credit gods, and people worship those, credit score. So, and they'll to the point where they'll give the bank their own money to get a secure credit card, so they can use that to show that they're responsible to pay the bank back their own money plus interest on their own money to get an unsecured credit card down the line. That doesn't make financial sense. But these are things people do. These are things people say, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody because, again, I understand. I've been there. I know what it's like, and that's why I can talk like I talk. So, another thing people say about their finances that don't make financial sense is there's good debt and there's bad debt. I hear that a lot. Good debt and bad debt. So people say that, financing a cell phone is bad debt. Credit card debt, bad debt. Right? A house, that's good debt. A mortgage, that's good debt. Good and bad are feelings. When it comes to debt, debt is just debt. Don't attach your feelings to debt. And this is why I believe the banks have manipulated people's training of thought mindset to make them put their feelings to debt. Debt is debt. If I say 2 minus 5 equals -3, and I ask you, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? You feel good about that? You feel bad about that? You're going to look at me like I'm crazy. 2 minus 5 is just -3. Right? It's like, I don't feel anything about that. It's just math. So it is with debt. When you're in debt, that's a negative. It is what it is. Don't attach feelings to your finances. And when you attach your feelings to your finances, then you start making decisions based upon emotions instead of logic, instead of numbers, instead of just thinking. So, but many people get caught up with the good debt, bad debt. All debt is bad. Debt is debt. Whether it's you owe the bank or whether you owe an individual. And owing an individual, somebody you close to, that can be even one of the worst that there is, because now it's more than just finance. Now it's a relationship. So when people say good debt, bad debt, those are just feelings. Debt is debt. Like I said, 2 minus 5 is -3. I don't feel no type of way about that. If I ask you how does that make you feel, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. One more thing that people say that, about their finances don't make sense. They say that I got to sell on my finance car. You go to a car lot and you say, I got to sell on this car. No one gets a sell on a finance car. That's impossible. Because the interest, right? If you go to a car lot and you got cash and that sticker price say $10,000, and you talk to that dealer, look, I got 9,000. Can I get a discount? Can I get a sell? Chances are they're going to lower that price for you. They're going to lower that price for you. Then you got to sell because you paid cash for it. But when you finance a vehicle, that $10,000 that's on that sticker, that $10,000 does not apply to the individual that's financing. No matter if they give you a sell of if you get the same, they say, we're gonna knock off $1,000, give you for you for $9,000. You're not paying $9,000 for that vehicle because of what? Interest. So no one gets a finance car on sale. But that's something people say, right? That it doesn't make financial sense, but the banks have programmed them to believe that. I remember I was talking to one of my neighbors, and this guy, this is what I'm saying about people don't know what they're saying, and because if they knew what they say, they wouldn't say it. He said, he had a vehicle, believe it like one of them Volkswagen Tigrons or whatever it is, nice car. But he was telling me, he went to the dealership. He didn't have to put no money down. Bragging about that. You're bragging about that. I didn't have to put no money down. What you're saying when you say you didn't have to put no money down is that you're financing the whole, let's just say it was $10,000. You're financing the whole $10,000. And then people say these things out loud and they don't realize what they're saying, right? I didn't have to put no money down. So you're financing the whole $10,000, and you're not just financing the $10,000, but you're also financing the taxes. You're financing the taxes. And the neighbor was telling me, he said, yeah, I had no money down, and the dealer, he said he'd work a deal out with me. Let's say the taxes was like $2,000. Well, what he did was knocked out the $10,000. He knocked that down to $8,000, and then he just rolled the taxes over into the $8,000, and now I'm paying $10,000 without no taxes. That don't make sense. You don't even realize what you're telling me. That doesn't make sense. So you're telling me you finance the car, the vehicle, and the taxes. You just finance the vehicle and the taxes. But people say these things out loud and they don't even realize what they're saying. And I'm guilty of it too. I was guilty of it in the past. And again, I'm not saying this to make fun of anybody, but I just want people to see. And this is what I said, True Financial, we enlighten you to help you to see the things that we say and do with our finances that's keeping us on that rat wheel. To tell me that you got a finance vehicle and he knocked down the price by X amount of dollars and then added the taxes onto that, you don't know what you're saying. You're saying, and you didn't put any money down, you're saying you're financed the cost of the vehicle with the taxes. So that same car that I would have purchased with cash that cost me, that says $10,000, but I paid $9,000. That I just paid $9,000 and I'm done with it. But for the individual that finance it, they paying $10,000 plus the interest, and by the end of the term, you probably done paid, probably another extra $5,000 just in interest. So these are things that people say about their finances that don't make financial sense. We here at True Financial, we're here to help you. Help you to see things that you probably wouldn't have seen before because we've so been programmed to think that 0% financing is the same as cash. That's a program. And the banks will promote 0% financing, 0% financing, 0% financing, same as cash. No, it's not. It's not the same as cash. Because see, when I go and pay cash for an item, I'm done with the bank or the store owner. I'm done, right? I'm done. Why? Because I pay cash, I'm done. But if I'm financed, regardless of the interest rate, you're still tied to that bank. You're still tied to the bank. Because let you miss a payment under that 0% financing agreement. Watch all the interest that they're going to accrue. Past interest that you would have paid if during the time you was not paying 0% financing. Other fees. So don't tell me that 0% financing is the same as cash, because it's not. It's not. When I pay cash, I make that transaction, I'm done. I sign that financing regardless if it's 0%. I sign that contract at 0% financing, I'm attaching myself to the bank for X amount of years. So 0% financing is not the same as cash. But that's the program that the banks feed the masses. And people say these things and don't realize that it's not making financial sense. So, if you enjoyed this video and if you learned something, because again, my objective is to teach and educate. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to educate. So if you got something from this video, please, like the video, leave a comment. Please be sure to subscribe and share. And thank you again for those people that have subscribed to my videos, taking time to watch my videos, and hopefully you learned something. And if you're ready to start that journey, get off the rat wheel and begin to invest in yourself, then you can click on the link in the description box, truefincoaching.com, set up your consultation, get you started on your journey. Peace and blessings.